Coming up on the Charge on Air. Tropical Storm Sarah has officially formed, but is there a chance it makes its way into Florida?
Next, we take a look at how a broken water line affected the UCF main campus this past week.
Additionally, we'll take a look at how 140 students have earned a nursing scholarship.
And then over in sports, Knights volleyball has had some challenges, and they also face another loss.
All right, Knights, let's ready our shields because the Charge on Air starts right now. Good afternoon and welcome to the Charge on Air. I'm Andrew Montana.
And I'm Jeremy Bellande. Today is Friday, November 15th, 2024.
Tropical Storm Sarah has officially formed in the Caribbean as of Thursday, becoming the 18th named storm of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. The system, previously referred to as Tropical Depression 19, developed in the Western Caribbean earlier this week, and it traveled westward on a path towards Central America. The National Hurricane Center said Sarah has sustained winds of 40 miles an hour and is expected to slowly move into the Gulf early next week.
Flooding on campus has caused a lot of issues, with some still being discovered. On Sunday, the UCF main campus had flooding near the Physical Science building due to a broken water line. A car became stuck in the sand and water, eventually needing help from UCF campus operations. On Tuesday, an email was sent out to students about the water line break, and there was even a boiling water notice in effect for the Creole and Arboretum buildings. Just yesterday afternoon, the notice got lifted. We currently have no more updates on the situation.
It's been over a week now since Election Day, and President-elect Donald Trump is in the process of choosing his administration ahead of his inauguration in January. Charge on Air reporter Abigail Giles takes us through this election and how it's made history on top of some reactions here at UCF.
The 2024 election officially ended last week, with former President-elect Donald Trump gaining over 270 electoral votes, surpassing Vice President Kamala Harris. Signs across campus reflect the end of another four-year election cycle. For some students, like junior political science major Chloe Scott, the 2024 election results came as a surprise.
It was very shocking, especially given how a big part of this campaign, of this election, has been identity politics.
Despite her reaction, she says that the government must serve the people and that voting still matters.
We still have a vote and we still have a voice in government. These people do work for us.
I'm outside of the Live Oak Ballroom where just last week UCF students were able to cast their ballot for the 2024 election. What we saw is a 42% voter turnout for youth between 18 and 29 years old, a 10% drop from the 2020 election. But the 2024 election has been able to make history in another way.
This election made history with former President Donald Trump becoming the oldest person ever elected to the presidency. Aubrey Jewett, a political science professor at UCF, says that this election was historic in many ways, especially with Trump's comeback win after his loss in 2020.
Probably the biggest difference or surprise was we had President Trump win. He's now become the second person to win non-consecutive terms as a president, right? There was Grover Cleveland. He did it once back in the late 1800s. But it's been a long time since we had a president win, lose, and then come back and win again.
As January approaches, Trump is filling his administration to govern for the years to come. These next 4 years will engage a new generation in shaping the future of the United States of America. In Orlando, Florida, Abigail Giles, The Charge on Air.
To keep up with more post-election coverage on campus, make sure you visit thechargeonair.com.
UCS College of Nursing is changing one life at a time after its annual scholarship event. According to UCF, nursing is a top 10 major in enrollment. This week, 40 nursing students received financial support from several donors. Partners awarded students more than $350,000 across 3 Central Florida campuses. UCF added 40 more scholarships after teaming up with Pegasus Partners, Advent Health, and Orlando Health. Executive Director of Advancement in the College for Nursing, Katie Corkis, says Pegasus partners provided support in several areas.
Case provided support for our new College of Nursing building, scholarships, internship programs. So those were some of the areas that our hospital systems have supported, and we're so thankful to them for this philanthropic support.
The College of Nursing says its goal is to prepare nurse leaders through education, research, and service. Corkis says they are looking forward to the grand opening of the Dr. Phillips Nursing Pavilion.
With Thanksgiving just around the corner, Friendsgiving kicked off at UCF, hosted by LGBTQ+ Services and Lavender Council. UCF students came together last night for a fun-filled event featuring Thanksgiving dinner, drinks, board games, and even live music. The Cape Florida Ballroom was transformed into a festive space where the UCF community could express its gratitude and spread some holiday cheer. Emma McElveen, Impact Events Director for Lavender Council, explained the purpose behind this inclusive event.
For a lot of people who don't get to go home over the holidays, we do make sure that we provide a little taste of the holidays here at UCF. And for those of us who don't celebrate a typical Thanksgiving-esque celebration, we like to provide a place for people with their friends and chosen family to celebrate in peace and eat food and just have fun.
This Friendsgiving celebration focused on creating an inclusive and supportive environment where students from all backgrounds could come together and experience a sense of community, one that treats each other like family. Now, Jeremy, I don't know about you, but when I stepped outside this morning and that cool, crisp breeze went through my oh-so-long hair, I personally loved it.
You know what that means, right?
What does that mean?
It means that holiday season is right around the corner. I feel like they've already started playing George Michael in the stores.
Ooh, I got one. It's time!
No. But with that being said, let's check in with our weather anchor, Giovanni St. Cyr, and see what he has to say about current conditions.
Yeah, guys, I know everyone wants to rush into the season where you wear matching PJs and huddle around the fire. But sadly, we do still live in Florida. And even though these aren't PJs, I like what you guys did with the blue suits. But yeah, as Andrew alluded to earlier, we do have an eye out on the Caribbean Sea for Tropical Storm Sarah. But we'll look into that in more detail later. Now for Orlando, it's 76 degrees outside, but we are still experiencing some cooler weather today as the low will be in the late 50s. So far, it's clear skies today. The wind speed is 11 miles per hour, moving northeast, and the humidity is at 51%. The rain chance is sitting at 1%, and nice this weekend can enjoy a smooth and rain-free weekend. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Giovanni. But coming up next, we're going to take a look at a student food options around campus and how much students are exactly spending.
Plus, we learn more about someone who went missing 3 years ago in Central Florida, and his loved ones are honoring his life.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. The moment I chose hope was when I couldn't look myself in the mirror anymore. I did not recognize myself. Absolutely. So I'm so proud because I did not think I was gonna make it. And now, you know, I get to call my mom and say I love her. I get to teach my son how to say, Mama, I love you. Yeah. So for me, hope in this moment, it is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay. Judy.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick, on and off the field. We were taught to not show any signs of weakness. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. I thought that something was wrong with me. For 20 plus years was physical. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father, as a man, and as a husband. Put the importance on your mental health. I'm not scared to talk about it anymore. The first tool is therapy. The second one is positive self-talk. But then journaling, putting your thoughts on paper. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
UCF has a hand in creating a more diverse community through research. Charge on Air reporter Luis Perez tells us more about the exciting discoveries that they're taking all the way to Washington.
The Puerto Rico Research Hub wrapped their research on Puerto Ricans in Florida and the island. Through their research groups, they look into factors like education, economy, living conditions, and more. Sarah Bellande is a postdoctoral scholar at the Hub and explains how it was established.
And so the need of kind of like understanding more of these experiences and providing support to both the UCF community but the Puerto Rican community in Central Florida also motivated the hub to be established.
The poor living conditions in the island is a major finding in the research this semester. The Puerto Rico Research Hub does a great job in making sure the voices of Puerto Ricans here in Florida and Puerto Rico are heard. But it becomes more important when the work that's being done here gets taken up to Congress. The process of going to Congress starts locally with meetings with local legislators. With it being election year, it is important for the Hub to set up the needs for Puerto Ricans. Director Fernando Rivera explains what it's like to meet with Congress.
Because usually what you have to know about Congress is that people work in committees. So in those committees, if they find any interest out there, they are going to swallow that information and see like, hey, what is it going on out here in terms of that?
The Hub will work closely with affiliates to expand their services with other Caribbean countries. In Orlando, Luis Perez, The Charge on Air.
To check out the survey results, you can visit the Puerto Rico Research Hub website.
Now, we know how many places there are to get a bite in and around UCF, but how much exactly are students looking to spend? Charge on Air reporter Nolan Bottomley tells us more.
Generation Z, the first generation to be considered digital natives, have traversed through their education with internet access. With easier access to necessities such as food, is Gen Z spending more than their generations prior? According to a Uniday's survey, 78% of Gen Z said that once their bills and tuition are paid, most of their money goes to food. Junior Edwin Villanueva says he falls into that category.
I've been really trying to stay at home and cook for myself, but it's been really difficult with, for example, going straight from class to work and having no time to have breakfast.
So some students are saying that they eat out more and buy more frozen foods because they are just busy with their college schedules currently. But some students have said that, well, they don't even have kitchen appliances in their apartments, whether it's on campus or off campus. Let's talk about an eye-watering situation.
UCF freshman Nick Scott says that he just sticks to frozen meals.
I'm definitely not a cook less type of guy, but I gotta be honest, that's really only because I don't have a kitchen, It's also being, available to cook things. I got a mini fridge and a microwave, so unless it's, microwavable.
Students eating whatever and whenever they can to keep up with classes. In Orlando, Nolan Bottomley, The Charge.
Now, if you or anybody you know are facing any type of food insecurity, be sure to check out Knight's Pantry on campus.
This Saturday, UCF hosts a candlelit vigil for a missing man in the Orlando community. Last week marked 3 years since the disappearance of 22-year-old Brian Vladik Hassel. He was last seen at the Foxtail Coffee along University Boulevard on November 12, 2021. Vladik's family chose a reflecting pond for the vigil, as it's within just 1 mile where he was last seen. Despite the search for answers over his disappearance, he's remembered by his family and friends as outgoing and warm. Vladik's sister, Bethany Hassel, recalls the support that he poured into the community.
The year leading up to when he went missing is when he was really doing outreach for the homeless population, bringing meals to people, and he even brought people to the movies, sat down and to eat with them at restaurants, just wanting to make sure everyone knew that they were heard and that they mattered. that's just the kind of.
The vigil in Hassel's honor will take place at the Reflecting Pond tomorrow at 6 p.m. Anyone who wishes to support Hassel's family but can't make it to the vigil is asked to light a candle at home and share a photo of it with the hashtag #FindVladik.
This December, STEM students can apply for the SMART Scholarship. The Charge on Air reporter Sophie Diaz gives us some insight into what this opportunity can mean for students.
The Department of Defense chose 10 UCF students to receive the Science, Math, and Research for Transformation Scholarship. The program doesn't just cover the recipient's tuition, it guarantees graduates an internship and later a job in a DoD facility. Students involved in 24 different STEM disciplines are welcome to apply. Louis Vest is pursuing his doctoral degree in aerospace engineering. He works in the Vasu lab here on campus researching fuel chemistry and power generation. Next summer, he plans to intern at the Naval Surface Warfare Center, and he says he feels well prepared by UCF for whatever lies ahead.
The greatest thing will be that a lot of the research opportunities that I have seen from my facility mirror things that I'm already doing here at this campus, meaning that I won't have as much of a learning curve.
You might expect the Department of Defense to focus on the work done in labs like this one. The SMART program also creates paths in fields that go beyond physical work.
Fourth-year student Jordan Sitson studies information technology here at UCF. She was awarded the SMART Scholarship and completed her internship at the Naval Facilities Engineering Systems Command in Jacksonville this past summer. She plans to work as a cyber analyst after her graduation next spring. She says she applied for the opportunity after overhearing a conversation on campus.
Guaranteed employment. And I was like, wow, that's such a great opportunity. So then Googled it the day after, applied immediately after, and then the rest is history.
Any students looking to apply to the SMART Scholarship can check out smartscholarship.org. In Orlando, Sophie Diaz, The Charge on Air.
And if you are interested in pursuing a SMART Scholarship, you can apply up until December 6th.
According to UCF's website, the school was founded at Florida Technological University in hopes to fuel talent for the nearby space industry. I took a deeper dive into how UCF is embracing the space you name in 2024. According to the Aviation Week Network, the University of Central Florida is the #1 supplier of graduates to the nation's aerospace and defense industries. Only 35 miles away from the UCF main campus is the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, which nearly 30% of its employees being UCF alumni. We spoke with UCF aerospace professor Jen Go, and he explained to us that he started teaching back in 2007. He also tells us how much the school has grown since then.
We only have probably 40 master students aerospace program. And guess what, how many we have right now? We have almost 300 students in the master program, so 10 times bigger.
With UCF alumni taking up about 30% of the aerospace and defense industry, we know that the school takes care of its students post-grad. But for those on campus, UCF supplies the second most space scholarships in the nation. Going back to 2021, 2 UCF students were awarded highly competitive astronaut scholarships, which raised the total number of UCF students to receive the scholarship to 51 since 1989. We also spoke to Bhavik Gotabali, who is an undergraduate aerospace engineering student. While he may not have won any space scholarships this year, he explained to us how UCF has set him up for his future.
So currently I have an internship lined up for Lockheed Aeronautics. So I would say that's the pathway into where I want to go, which is either Lockheed Space or somewhere in the space industry like NASA or something like that.
SpaceFoundation.org confirms that the space industry is continuously growing, with reports of a 7.4 compound annual growth rate and the field itself being worth $570 billion right now. The space industry is projected to be worth $1.8 trillion by 2035. In Orlando, Jeremy Bellande, The Charge on Air. Not only has the industry grown, but so has and will the number of students here on campus.
Coming up next, we'll check in with our partners over at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University for an update on our national weather forecast.
We will be right back after the break.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad! Okay, here we go, throw it! Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. How to control the flames. What to do with hot coals. How to secure your chains.
There's no sparks.
But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Now let's check in with student meteorologist Penelope Anderson from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University for a glance at our local forecast. Penelope?
Starting off on the western side of the United States, they are going to be experiencing a lot of rainy and snowy conditions as we make our way into the Friday afternoon and evening hours. And a lot of this is due to this Pacific frontal system as it makes its way inward, again bringing with it a lot of snow and rain. But on top of that means that there are going to be some cooler temperatures expected. So places like California and Nevada are going to be experiencing below normal temperatures by either 15 to 20 degrees. And as we make our way across the United States and onto the East Coast, states like North Carolina and Virginia are also going to be experiencing a lot of rainy conditions this Friday afternoon and evening. And a lot of this is due to this low pressure system that is making its way across these two states. But a secondary low pressure system is also here, bringing with it a lot of moisture, showers, and wintry conditions to the mix. And that is a look at your national forecast. Back to you, UCF, for a closer look at Florida.
Thank you, Penelope, for that look at our national forecast.
Now let's check in with our very own weather anchor, Giovanni St. Cyrin, for a look at what's ahead in store for us in the days ahead.
Thanks, guys. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to see some cooler weather in the upcoming weeks. Cities like Gainesville and Palm Coast are as low as 70. According to the National Hurricane Center, Sarah is now a tropical storm. Sustained winds of 40 miles per hour, and it has located 205 miles east of Honduras, moving west for now. And now for our current temperatures. For our current temperatures, Gainesville is up north and it is moving 70 degrees. It is cold up there. But now we will go into our 5-day forecast before our current temperatures. Saturday is sitting at 79 degrees with a low of 61 degrees and a 0% chance of rain. Sunday is sitting at a high of 80 degrees with a low of 63 degrees and 0% chance of rain again. Monday is sitting at a high of 81 degrees with a low of 64 degrees and a 2% chance of rain. And Tuesday is 82 degrees with a low of 69 degrees with a 6% chance of rain. And on Wednesday, we do see a high of 78 degrees with a low of 68 degrees and a 91% chance of rain. As you can see, around the middle of next week, the rain will pick up a bit, but don't worry because there is little concern about Tropical Storm Sarah hitting Central Florida with any significant impact. That's all I have for hurricanes and cool weather in the near future. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you so much, Giovanni. Now, coming up in sports, we're going to take a look at another matchup between the Knights and the BYU Cougars.
Plus, how you can personalize game day merch. Stick with us as we'll have more for you after the break.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable. like your mental health, my own mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I've never been more devastated than the day I lost my mom. I was depressed, miserable, in ways I never imagined. I reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. The chaos that was in me began to subside. I was more focused, clear. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. That's not up for debate. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Those 9 months were also 273 days of planning. What about your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. And let's not forget those barbecues you plan in detail for your family and your more vegetarian by the day best friends. That surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
How crazy it is at UCF right now.
What's going on, Knights? My name is Brianna Howard, and we've got a lot to talk about in UCF sports. A former Knight won a prestigious award, UCF volleyball looks to improve, and we have news on Knights merge. Dylan Moore, the Seattle Mariners sports stop and former UCF Knight, has earned his first MLB Gold Glove Award. This prestigious award honor is given to players who excel defensively on the field. Moore has played 6 defensive positions in 2024 with only 5 errors and 401 total chances. Moore is the first UCF Knight to ever receive this recognition. Last night, the UCF volleyball team faced off against the BYU Cougars. Unfortunately for the Knights, they lost 3-1 against the 24th ranked team in the nation. UCF is now riding a 10-game losing streak dating back to October 5th. Despite the loss, the Knights still saw promising performances from Ava Armour and Alexia Cole, racking up 20 collective kills in the game. UCF's next game is against number 20 Utah tomorrow at 1 p.m. in the venue. UCF fans can now add a personal touch to their game day swag. The Barnes & Noble bookstore along East Plaza Drive has added a new embroidery machine as part of the custom zone. Customers can now add their own individual designs to their hats purchased at the bookstore. Designs start at $12 and can be purchased along customers' new hats. Some fans have chosen to add rubber ducks, fun logos, and more. Now back to Jeremy and Andrew at the desk.
Thank you so much, Brianna. Now that's all the time we have for right now, but thank you all so much for joining us.
Remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on our website, thechargenews.com.
You can also check us out on Instagram at The Charge News.
Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you have a great day.